I bought this 500-year-old hotel for £2.2 million. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I bought it, why I bought it, what am I going to do to improve it. I think there's a myth in the general public that hotels make lots of money. Hotels can be as cheap as £60 a night right up to £1,000 plus per night. We're in the bracket of around £160 to £190 to stay in our hotel. You might be thinking, well, if you've got so many rooms, you add that all up, you should be making a lot of money. But the problem is they're hugely capital intensive. To set up a hotel, you need millions of pounds. They're 24/7 businesses, literally. Customers are staying at your hotel and they have needs at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Something's not working, the hot water's not there, the bulb has gone, or it's too bright, or a neighbour's making some noise. You've got to deal with all that stuff, so your business literally never goes to sleep. There are some pros to this business. You've got massive tax efficiencies. If you like commercial real estate, you could buy a hotel, and then if you sell that hotel as a trading business, benefit from asset business disposal relief, formerly known as entrepreneurs relief here in the United Kingdom. They're really good for inheritance tax planning and also capital allowances. So if you do get into one of these businesses, speak to your accountant about the tax efficiencies of owning property and a trading business combined. So with that tepid assessment of hotels, why the heck would I want to go and buy one? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Reason number one is the deal structure. I love the way we structured the deal, and I'm going to explain that later on in the video. But I'm also heavily invested into hospitality and leisure. I've been in the game for 20 years, and I've got an amazing management team that understand how to look after the general public. I've got a chain of coffee shops, indoor play centres, and 2 outdoor attractions, to name but a few. So we understand the sector. And at my hospitality and leisure businesses that have got outdoor attractions, I was desperate to do accommodation on them. And the best way of learning how to do something is just buy something that's already doing it, take all of that knowledge and IP and put it into those businesses. It's been the playbook that I've been operating for the last 20 years in businesses. Buying companies that are already operating, to me, just seems so much easier than starting something from scratch. Learn from someone else's mistakes and put all the efficiencies into your other businesses. Hey, I call that vertical integration, baby. So that explains my thoughts on this industry, the hotel sector. But let's actually now look at the deal structure of this hotel, the actual one that I bought. So the hotel that we bought is 500 years old in some parts. It's had extensions over the years, and there's bags of potential because there's loads of rooms that aren't used. I actually think at some point we could get up to 55 rooms here, and at the moment we're only using 17. There's real opportunity to add on other revenue streams, all the sort of stuff that really excites me. For example, this commercial kitchen that's hardly used. We've got a massive restaurant that can seat about 110 people that's only used for breakfast right now. Now, predecessors of predecessors had this as a full swanky restaurant a couple of decades ago, but restaurants are really hard to make money from. But because we've already got those restaurants in our portfolio of businesses, we're going to take all that knowledge and IP and put it into here. Plus, this is a town that's hugely growing. If you drive through the town that we bought this hotel in, you'll see houses growing all the time. And we're in the county of Essex. 1.5 million people live here, and lots of business gets done in this county. So we're using all of our marketing skills to tell people about the hotel, and we're finally getting loads of direct bookings. More on that later. Now, before I tease you with how I bought this hotel, the deal structure and all the numbers, I want to tell you about my distinct advantage. I've got over 1,000 staff across all of my businesses, management teams that have been with me for nearly 2 decades, and I'm always looking to grow my people and give them new opportunities. So when I'm looking at businesses to buy, I'm not thinking really, how am I going to fund this? How am I going to buy this? Primarily, I'm thinking, who am I going to get to run it for me? Because I want to be growing our business, not operating our business. I want to be doing the impossible, not the possible. And so it's really important to take some of my team that have been working with me a long time and give them new opportunities, promote them and give them leadership responsibilities in our business. And that's exactly what I did here in this business. I managed to get Emma and Chloe out of one of my farm attractions. Emma, who's worked for me for over 15 years, to come and be the overall manager of this hotel. So once I've got management in place and I can trust someone to run one of our businesses, I can trust the who. I now think about, how can I buy this thing? let's just lay the land of opportunity here. Let's remind us why I wanted to buy this hotel. I wanted to buy the knowledge and IP of running this hotel. I had no idea how you clean 17 bedrooms ready for the next wave of people coming in, let alone 55 people. And I told you at the beginning of the video that I wanted to do accommodation at my outdoor attractions. How best to learn it? Buy a business that's already doing it. I had the management team that could come in and do this for me. It was very local to me. It was a freehold opportunity, and I loved the deal structure, which I'm going to tell you about in just a moment. The tax efficiencies for the future, that inheritance tax thing, and that asset business disposal relief. All of those things added up means I want to get involved. So, how did I buy it? That's the bit you want to know, isn't it? Anyone that's watched my content for a few years now will know that I love buying companies. I've done it so many times, and I've got really good at coming up with creative deal structures to get the deal over the line. One of the things that's made me, I think, really resourceful in being able to buy companies efficiently is because I've borrowed millions and millions of pounds from banks. And I like using banks over private finance and private equity because I feel like you lose control, and that form of finance is very expensive. What do banks like? Well, they like management, affordability, and security. And they like knowledge, really. When you think of management, it's like, can you manage a hotel? Can you manage a restaurant? Can you manage a theme park, a day nursery, or a retail warehouse shop business? They want to know that you know what you're doing. If they know that, they're then looking, can they afford the loan? And then they're looking for security. I think everyone thinks banks start with security, then they think about affordability, and then they think about who they're lending to. It's absolutely not the case. They start with your knowledge, your management experience before they look at any of the other things. So if I wanted to trundle along to a bank and buy a hotel, and they say, well, how many hotels have you run before? And I say, well, I've never run any before. Yeah, I've got hospitality, leisure and business and entrepreneurship experience. And I've been doing that for 2 decades quite successfully, but I've never run a hotel. So I didn't go to any bank about this hotel, but I did find out what banks like about lending to hotels. I know that they only like lending money to buy a hotel if you've got a minimum of 30 rooms, that you're profitable, showing a positive EBITDA, or EBITDA is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, and that you've got at least 3 years profitable accounts if it's a new startup business to show that you can do this successfully. I don't have 3 years profitable accounts from the person that I was buying the business from. I've never run a hotel before, and it doesn't have 30 rooms because that's the criteria, for example, that HSBC are looking for. Profitability, cover the loan 1.5 times, at least 30 rooms. Well, I knew I could have 30 rooms here, but I was only operating 17, and the business when I bought it was making a small profit, but best to look at it from a break-even position. The business wasn't even doing any direct bookings. You know, you had to go through booking.com or pick up the phone. You couldn't actually book to stay here on the business's own website. We've changed that, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. So I've given you some foundations there. It's very difficult to get funding on this hotel because we haven't got experience, we haven't got 3 years profitable accounts, and we don't have the right criteria for banks wanting to lend here because there wasn't enough bedrooms. Because when you've got 30 bedrooms, you need the same amount of management, cleaners to look after 30 bedrooms as you do 10, 12 or 17 rooms. You get that economies of scale, banks understand it, that's why they don't like lending money to small hotels. But this hotel is big enough. So I went to the owner of the hotel and I said, look, I'm happy to pay the price you want for it, which was £2.25 million. But what I want to do is use a little nifty trick called an option agreement. Whereas I'll pay you a deposit, like I would pay the bank a deposit on getting a commercial mortgage. And then I'll pay you a private mortgage for a number of years. And then I will take you out with the bank after 3 years, showing 3 years profitable accounts. Now, I'm producing monthly management accounts now because I know that's what banks love. And then I'm now working to get all the rooms refurbished, and I'll show you some of those with overlay shots now, to get it up to a minimum of 30 rooms. I've got all the rooms, they were just sitting there empty and they looked like there was something out in the 80s. So I'll get the 30 rooms, I get my profitable management accounts, I get the direct bookings, I get the strong positive EBITDA, and then I go to HSBC or NatWest or Barclays and say, look, here's 3 years accounts, I've ran it for 3 years, I've got management experience, bada bing, bada boom, I've already paid this amount on a private mortgage, and then I will take out the previous owner. And that's how it works, gang. That's a little option agreement that I like doing. Sometimes they're called lease options, sometimes they're called private mortgages, sometimes they're a bit of both. I've done these many, many times before. So if you think you can do something in business but a bank doesn't want to lend to you, then you've got to find other ways of structuring the deal. Because eventually you do want to use the bank, so you're using those early years to get the business in a structure that it's fundable, because this business wasn't fundable unless I put all my own cash in. But I'm an entrepreneur. Why would I want to put all of my own cash in? I want to use other people's money and some of my money to grow a business. I don't want to use all of my own money, because then I'll run out of money and I won't be able to do all the opportunities that I want to do. I'm building a dinosaur park, another day nursery, yada ying, yada you. So that's how I structured it. I hope you enjoyed that little monologue there, but it's really crucial that I improve the profitability of this business. Like I told you, it was breaking even when I bought it, maybe making a small profit, but I didn't have really powerful management accounts. See, when you're building a business, there's 3 essential KPIs that I think you should live by. Average order value, your average transactional value per customer, your monthly profit and loss, and you track your labor to turnover ratio. The second I got into this business, I put my existing management team that understand all of that stuff, so we're producing them P&Ls and seeing the seasonality of the business and the weak months and what we need to do to improve those weak months. I employed a builder straight away to start refurbishing room by room to improve the room rates that we have here in the business. I wanted to get direct bookings, because when we're using people like Expedia and Booking.com, people were happy to book direct with us, but because we didn't have the technology or the software to do it, Expedia and Booking.com were getting all of their 15, 20, 25% commissions rather than people being able to book direct with us. So I got my marketing team and technology team to get all that software implemented so people could book direct on our website. Tick done. And all of this stuff that I can demonstrate to a bank when I go for my mortgage and say, look, I've done all these things, I've had all these other businesses in the past. By the way, I'm already warming up the banks and telling them this is what I want, and HSBC, who are really keen to lend on this, have given me their shopping list of criteria of how they would give me a mortgage. I've got 2 real revenue streams here. I've got a pub and a bar downstairs from where I'm sitting right now that can do anywhere between £35,000 and £65,000 per calendar month. I've got the hotel rooms that are bringing anywhere between £20,000 and £50,000 a month. So big swings. So I've got to get on the marketing to get those rooms more full up. I'm even going to use Google pay-per-click, and I'm starting to see the green shoots of success on that. But the real big opportunity is I've got these function rooms here in the hotel, and I've got a massive restaurant. We're right on the high street in a very growing populous town. So we're starting to get that restaurant open for Q4 of 2024, so that when I go to the bank and say, look, I've built the restaurant. When you've got a restaurant, more people want to stay in your hotel because they can eat there, and I've got the revenue streams from there. And knowing that restaurants are really hard to make money, but I've already got the rents, the rates and the overheads covered. I've already got the commercial kitchen, I've already got the space, so I've got to invest about 100 grand to make the facility look lovely, and there we go. That will turn this into a commercially profitable enterprise that works without you in it. Let me give you some predictions on where I think the numbers are going to be with this business. In 5 years' time, I reckon we'll be helping ourselves to £600,000 worth of EBITDA, and at year 10, this will be £1 million profit business. Just got to get there, gang. Businesses take time to get into profitability. Everyone thinks that you're going to do it in a year or 2. Oh, no. My experience from running all the other companies that I'm doing, year 7, things get exciting. Year 10, the business gets really established. And there's a little fact about businesses. I've always said this here on the YouTube channel. Only about 5% of businesses make it past 10 years old, but the fun begins at 7. And that's 7-year itch. Most people give up. But if you can get over that 7 years in anything in life, you start to become mastery. 10,000 hours of practice is usually 10 years work. If you can do something for 10 years, you get really, really good at it. And all my other businesses that I've been running over 10 years, they're the most profitable ones out of our portfolio. If you've loved this video, make sure you do me a little favour. Comment in the comments below. Let me know what videos you'd like me to make. Go and check out the James Sinclair podcast. We've got a YouTube channel for that. There's a link in the video description where I'm coaching business owners on how I can grow their business. Really different style of content. Think you'll love that. And if you want to come and see me live, one of my seminars, maybe even my Buying Businesses seminar, you can do those too. All the details for them are on my website, jamessinclair.net. Tickets are only a few £100. And if you're not happy with what you learn at my seminars, I'll give you all the money back. See you in the next one, gang. Bye-bye.